Hello, and welcome to this final, like, I don't really know if I should call this like a proper episode, but this is going to be the final video of the kind of Nestroid playthrough that I've been doing on YouTube. I'm gonna get some music going. This is this this soundtrack's going to be coming from like the Metroid franchise at large, so a lot of this music, unless you've played the games, will be unfamiliar to you. But we're not here to talk about the music. We're here to talk about this map. Um, yes, what you're looking at right now is the entirety of Metroid's map. The map that I have been lost in continuously for I ended up beating this in like three recording sessions, which I'm kind of surprised. I thought it was going to take me a little longer. Um, but anyway, if we kind of look through this, let me see if I can find the starting. Yeah, so you kind of start here. I really thought there was a secret over here. That's why I kept shooting this wall. I might be confusing this with like a future Metroid game that kind of like returns to a similar looking area. It might be Super Metroid. I can't remember. But anyway, what I find interesting about this map, first of all, is it doesn't show any of the like upgrades. Like I know there's an energy tank like in the middle of the screen here. Obviously the morph ball isn't showing up over here. So I wonder. I'm still gonna just go ahead and use this map. It's fine. I'll use a different map when I'm actually like streaming this and all of that. Look at all these enemies. So the biggest thing to me for me here is to just kind of like look through this. Like for here, I thought this was just a big circle, but actually like seeing it and confirming it with my eyeballs is nice. Again, I don't know if there's any upgrades here. It felt like there wasn't, which would be really strange, because that's kind of like antithetical of the Metroidvania formula, like in the future. You don't want to punish the player too much for exploring, or at the very least, even when you do punish them, you kind of want them to have a reward at the end of the gauntlets, so to speak. So this one's going to be one to like return to and look at in the future. And I think that's kind of like my major problem with NES Metroid, and why I don't really like it's kind of interesting how this game ended up spawning an entire freaking genre, and it's one of my favorite genres in video games. I I don't like the term Metroidvania itself, but we as like a community of gamers haven't come up with a better one. So when you say Metroidvania, you at least like conjure up an idea of what you're talking about, right? It's these maze-like experiences where you go in, you ideally you get a little lost, but you do find your way. You do find some rewards for being lost, like upgrades and whatnot. And I find that gameplay loop really satisfying. So that's why this genre of game, like I like games that require me to think about the navigation and like where I am in relation to where I'm going and how do I get there. Like a lot of modern games, navigation is thoughtless. Like you're in a big map, you have an icon, you follow the icon, you get to where you're going. You don't have to think about it. Um, at least for AAA stuff. The indie scene is like filling the gap for that for me. And one thing I want to do in the future is explore like more Metroidvanias, on the whole. Right now it's just Metroid, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. Nestroid doesn't do the formula particularly well, but at the same time, there wasn't a blueprint. There wasn't there wasn't like an established set of norms to follow to do the thing. And it shows. But the fact that they did manage to like pull this off on the NES, you know, between this and Zelda and you know some of the other games that Nintendo did in the early days, like they're rough. They're definitely rough around the edges, but I feel like you can at least see the vision. And I'm just going to go ahead and skip over here to Ridley's hideout here, hideout 2. So it's like, you know, you come down this elevator here. I find it really interesting that this room doesn't have a proper ceiling. I don't know why I find that interesting, but I do. What the heck was that? Anyway, so again, like I said, it felt like Ridley's area just wasn't that large. I think it's because it wasn't like there wasn't a lot of verticality to it. Now that I'm here and I'm looking at it, but it's definitely has some fairly long hallways for you to explore. I mean, even as I say that, like, yeah, this one down here at the bottom is definitely longer. What I find really interesting is that Ridley wasn't at the bottom. Like, there was a floor below him. That's... Oh, but I see. You, like, fall from this side. Like, you try to get the energy tank. Let me center that room a little bit. You try to get the energy tank in here. But you fall here. Then you go over here. You try to climb back up, but you end up falling again. And though I made my happy ass all the way through there, I went back through the first door I saw and stumbled across Ridley. That was actually a fun surprise. Like, I freaked out for a little bit at first, but that is actually really funny. Like, I really enjoyed finding Ridley like that, especially since I managed to beat him. Like, if I had lost to him, I may not have enjoyed that so much. But, yeah, so let's kind of study Norfair a little bit. Like, I really wanted to get a better feel for this area. So, you enter through right here. You know, you jump down, you do the thing. So if I go right... You know, I would really like a map that would show you, like, which blocks were breakable. But I feel like all of the blocks, like, all of this room on the right, like, all of this shaft is one big room. Like, I'd have to, like, go back and replay it now, but I feel like, you know, you get down to, like, this floor right here, you can bomb through it, go all the way down here. You theoretically... Huh. I realize that my overlay is kind of blocking everything I'm talking about now. That's really cool. I'm just going to switch over to this so that y'all can see it a little better. Yeah, like all of this tile to the right. One thing I do find really interesting, and I'm going to put it above my camera here, is there's a room with a door that connects to nothing. I wonder if that's just an error with the mapping, or if that's like a minus world kind of thing. There's no telling. Anyway, you get to the bottom of that. You like bomb your way through here. So where did I get lost at? Was it just me? Oh, okay. So I think what it was is I forgot that I could break the tiles above this set of rooms to continue to climb up this shaft, and that's what was confusing me. So I was like doing a very specific loop over and over again. I mean, it helped me like firmly solidify in my mind where this energy tank is, though. But Like, looking at it now, you think it wouldn't be so confusing. But the fact that so many of the rooms look the same, and, like, some of these tiles, you know, appear to be breakable, but then they're not. Or they are breakable, but then they don't lead anywhere. Like, the original Metroid is rather confusing. Like, just looking at this map right here. Like, it's a small game. And it's not like Zelda where, you know, you look at the overworld map, but that doesn't paint the full picture. No, like, this is the full... The full thing. There's no, like, entering a dungeon and then there's a whole other ass map. On the whole, I think I enjoyed this more than I thought I did. I'm not as opposed to replaying Nestroid as I thought I was going to be. I'm definitely looking forward to like putting it down and not touching it for a while though, because like as of this recording, I'm almost halfway through September, and the first episode of this won't even release until October 1st. So yeah, sorry. Like once I got into Metroid, like I did want to just finish it. Um, I'm really looking forward to playing like some of the other games, for sure. Super Metroid in particular is one I'm eagerly anticipating. But for now, I think I'm just going to call this little mini episode here, this little ending for Nestroid. I'd like to thank everyone who's taken the time to watch the series. If you enjoyed this in any capacity, like definitely like, subscribe, all of that, and definitely follow my Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Servalphius, ServalPhias. I'm not quite sure what games I'll be juggling by the time this comes out, like by the time that this is published on YouTube. Definitely not going to be done with Tears of the Kingdom. But eventually, I'll be returning to this and other Metroid games and just having the time of my life doing that for the next, like, year or two. I don't know if I'll be focusing exclusively on Metroid in that time or if I'll sprinkle in some other Metroidvanias. I know Silk Song is pretty soon in the cards, but that's just because it's Silk Song. You know, I played Hollow Knight about a year ago, and you know, I definitely was looking forward to Silk Song. But there are other Metroidvanias, but they, you know, they're gonna have to wait for Metroid at the very least. So, yeah. Until next time. Until the start of Metroid 2: Return of Samus, which I can go ahead and show you all the overlay for that. It's the same. It is the same, but it's got a new logo. it's got the new logo, and because it's a Game Boy game, it gets a little more. You probably can't tell because of like the gray here. Let me minimize all this. That's not what I meant to do, but sure. How do I get out of this? Let me. I'm afraid if I push power, it'll just. like I'm learning about things all the time. I'm afraid if I push power, it'll actually like shut down the computer. Exit big picture mode, yeah. But yeah, you know, this is the resolution, for most games before they went widescreen, and this is the Game Boy resolution that I'll be enjoying with. As you can see, it hides like most of the fire on my wallpaper here. It also hides some of like the grass and whatnot over there. But in any case, that will be the end of today. That'll be the end of this. So, definitely stick around the channel if you're looking forward to Metroid 2. I'm thinking I'm going to be starting that immediate, like as far as the publishing stuff goes. I may give it a week or two before I start playing it, myself. But I think I'm going to start it immediately after Metroid's done. So you won't have to wait too long. Bye-bye.